Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is Friday here on Talkback on KSYL. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell on this National Relaxation Day.
I saw it says you need 10 hours of relaxation a day. Okay.
I'll take that. Yeah, it was invented in 1985 by a fourth grader.
Huh. Well, they should be relaxing. They should be playing and jumping.
Right? I mean, how many fourth graders need to relax? Relax, Nancy. Remember
Just
that?
relax. Was it Aaron Rodgers? Relax.
Yeah, RELAX. Relax. I wonder how he's going to do on the Steelers this year.
He's a little old, ain't he?
He's a little old.
Yeah.
Was he 39 or is he older than that now?
He's in his 40s, huh? Looks like he's taking a step back for sure.
Yeah, maybe a step slower. Yeah, 41. You're right. And apparently got married in the off season, although it's like a mystery wedding.
Is this his first wedding or?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. He's dated some starlets in the past, Olivia Munn, Danica Patrick.
Yeah, I remember that. But for, I'm not a big fan.
You're not an Aaron Rodgers fan?
No, strictly because of football. Because he always drove me nuts.
He always beat the Cowboys?
Yeah, most of the time. When it mattered, he'd beat them.
Discount double check.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. Well, good for him.
Yeah, at one time he was a popular commercial person, but that's kind of waned in recent years.
I think so.
But he's always on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN.
Do you like that show?
I hardly ever watch.
Yeah.
To be honest, I hardly ever watch ESPN, period.
No,
other than live sports.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of like the bro sports stuff, which is the
Bro
Pat
sports.
Mac. You know what I'm talking about? Like Barstool.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee is like the PR, PR version of Barstool on ESPN to me.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'd rather just watch highlights on SportsCenter when I was a kid.
Or listen to sports talk.
Sports talk, yeah.
I'll tell you what, if people aren't going to listen to this station, and hopefully you are, but our sister station, 94.7 ESPN, between the show in the morning with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn, I'll usually tune over to that after the 9 o'clock hour when I'm out driving. If Moon's topic isn't really capturing me, I'll tune into those guys. They're doing a great job. Matt Flynn replaced T-Bob Hebert, who actually went to Barstool up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the afternoon, Matt Moscona, that guy is just top notch. If you've never listened to him before, he is as good as you'll ever hear in sports talk.
Really?
Just outstanding. Yeah.
I just never.
Yeah, he could work on a national level easily, but I think he's pretty entrenched in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good to be the big fish in the small pond.
Yeah. Sometimes. Kind of like what you're experiencing here.
Well, you just kind of know everybody, you know everything, and
I'm just going to call you Big Fish from now on.
Yeah. I'm a marlin.
I'm Marlin.
No.
Hey, there could be worse things, right?
No, that's not. Marlins are majestic.
Except for the
Big
Miami,
fish.
Florida, whatever Marlins. The two franchises I can't keep up with the name changes: the Marlins and the Angels.
What do you mean the name changes?
Well, first they were the Florida Marlins, and now they're the Miami Marlins, I believe.
Yep.
And pretty soon they'll probably be the Miami Marlins of Florida, just like the Angels were always the California Angels when I was growing up, and then they became the Anaheim Angels. And now they're the Los Angeles Angels, which actually they were originally the Los Angeles Angels.
There was Los Angeles Anaheim Angels.
Or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or something like that. It's like, why do you gotta change your name?
The Angels are the lamest of the teams.
Yeah.
Not a fan. They were basically giving away the tickets when I was in Anaheim last year. They were like $1.
They're actually playing pretty well right now.
I think we're going to go see them in September.
I think they won all 6 games against the Dodgers this year.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't saying much these days.
Well.
Yeah, they're the Los Angeles Angels now. Which, again, when they first started in the early 60s, I'm pretty sure that was their name. And somewhere along the way, they changed to the California Angels.
They've been around since the 60s, the Angels?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought they were younger than that.
No, let's see.
Interesting.
Let's see when if I can. 1961 was their first year.
Wow.
Back when they had players like Dean Chance.
They're older than the Cowboys.
Some of our older audience might remember them.
Oh, no, the Cowboys are older. 1960.
Yeah.
Not that matters. Wow, I didn't know that. I figured they're like an 80s, 70s type team.
Then they changed to the California Angels on September 2nd, 1965, with a month still left in the season.
I like the name California Angels.
Yeah, like I said, that was what I always knew them as.
Because it'll just be the little step brother of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Wish they should move back to Brooklyn. That'd be fun.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be really
probably not going to ever happen.
No, definitely not.
I don't think.
But the Brooklyn Dodgers history is pretty cool.
Yeah, it really was.
Ebbets.
Yeah, that's as heartbreaking a move as there's ever been. And there have been a few.
Don't tell that to the Browns fans.
It'd be like the Cowboys moving to Oklahoma or something.
If the Cowboys move, sports is over.
Yeah.
You know.
Can you imagine?
No.
They got a stadium to pay for.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Talk Back, everyone. We're excited to have a great show with you coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. We've got a couple of guests that'll be in here. We'll be talking about the upcoming, hang on a second, let me click over to it. We'll be talking about the upcoming home and products show. Come on, computer. There we go. It's kind of being slow with me right now. There we go. All right. James Crane with the Home Builders Association will talk about the Central Louisiana Home and Product Show presented by Coburn's Kitchen and Bath Showroom and Bigfoot Electric. It's happening September 20th at the Laborde Earls Entertainment Center. Then at 8:20, Sergeant Tammy Camarillo from the Salvation Army will be here, and she'll talk about a program that the Salvation Army has to give people a little help with some of their energy bills. So you don't want to miss that. Actually, in the 8 o'clock hour, Trish LaLaw will be here because Steven has to run out.
Gotta go to a shoot.
So you guys are going to tap out like a tag team.
That's right.
But right now, I believe we have a guest that is calling in that we're looking forward to talking to. Of course, carbon capture has been a huge topic in recent months here in the Central Louisiana area, and will continue to be. And if some of you have gone to some of the kind of community meetings that have been held in the area, especially in the Ville area, you've noticed one of the experts that's been brought in is a gentleman by the name of Brad LeBlanc, who is a geologist / geophysicist, and I believe he's calling in right now. Let's make sure this is him. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hello, this is Brad LeBlanc calling.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Good. This is Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. Thanks so much for being with us on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Brad, as we get into it, just give people a little bit your background and what you've done professionally that has given you the credentials to speak to this very, I would say, heated topic right now.
Sure. Well, first off, like I said, appreciate you having me and your guests listening in. Yes, so I've been in the business of oil and gas exploration as a geologist / geophysicist, sometimes referred to as just simply geoscientist.
Mm-hmm.
So 45 years, and I graduated in May of 80 from UL, Bachelor of Science in Geology. Yeah, I've spent 13 years senior geoscientist, my most recent employer. Prior to that, about 25 years as manager of geology, geophysics for both private, publicly traded companies. Basic area of experience divided between the offshore and onshore Gulf of America. I've been an expert witness for court proceedings, and I provided multiple testimonies to the Louisiana Legislative Assessment Committee. And so that's kind of a general pro bio on me. Okay?
Yeah. So explain to folks maybe the difference. You mentioned geoscientist. Is that the same as a geologist? How does that all work? Because I know recently we had a guest on the show and she made kind of a comment in passing saying that you're not a real geologist. Could you address that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easy to address. Graduated from UL, like I said, in May of 80 in geology. Bachelor of Science degree. And from there, at that point, we were just the industry was so busy. Went to work right away under, Arco mentor, but we all quickly, learned under the heat of the trial, the oil and gas industry. You spent the next 7 years, of course, just as a staff geologist, just really learning, going to well sites, learning geology from the oil and gas, petroleum, side of things, and then integrated geophysics into that. Of course, you have a lot of, on-site training that you go through. But simply, most of us that had graduated in geology back at that time, you pretty much had to take on, geophysics or seismic data, as part of your trade, just because you had to integrate subsurface well control into, the available seismic that was there. Mm-hmm. And you have mentors, you have trainers, for that. But so it's very heated, of course, in the offshore business. It's very competitive, so you really are, working around the clock, spending very long hours, in this business and lease sale activity. And then after a while, I was moved into the managerial position, handling quite a bit of information. Of course, everything we do in this industry is a science unto itself, whether it's drill bits, drilling mud, or casing. We've interacted with, well planners quite a bit, petrophysics. You learn quite a bit about the rock properties and the various, types of rock there are down there. So fluid flow, you're dealing with reservoir engineers all the time. So the practice of geology and oil and gas business really takes on the full gamut of just about every individual science. So in my office, I often culminated several sciences underneath just that one title. Sure. Of manager of geology and geophysics. And then this particular issue came up, of course, with Al Gore, calling CO2, existential threat. And, I think that a lot of us take issue with that because we understand Earth processes, and studying the whole issue of CO2 more intently, under certain PhDs like Dr. John Christie, University of Alabama at Huntsville, Richard Lindzen, MIT, Will Happer, Princeton, so many others, Judith Curry, Georgia Institute of Technology. That became sort of a hobby of mine, just to try to read all that they were publishing. And I did most of John Christie's publications and presentations before the federal House representatives and Senate in some cases to just see where he was coming from with that. He's a very devout climate scientist, and if you read all of his work, you'll begin to see that CO2 is not the greenhouse gas that many make it out to be. We're at about 420 parts per million right now, and it's just making the Earth greener, according to a 2016 NASA publication, and that was really a huge publication by multiple international scientists from around the world, and that NASA comes out and says that the Earth is greener because of the increased CO2 that we're enjoying.
Tell you what, I don't mean to jump in here, but we do have to take a break right now, so we want to give plenty of time to kind of dive deeper into this issue. I guess to summarize what you're saying is you might not have PhD behind your name, but your life experience is more than equivalent of a PhD.
Yeah, I'd say so. PhDs are often inside of a particular, specific realm anyway. So
yeah, I can relate. Trust me. All right, we're going to take a quick break, Brad, and we'll be right back with more with Brad LeBlanc here on Talkback.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Home buyers who need to finance their purchase are seeing some relief lately. Freddie Mac's mortgage rates fell for a 4th straight week, reaching the lowest point since October. The average for 30-year fixed loans was 6.58%, down from 6.63% last week. Shares of Intel are rising ahead of the opening bell. Bloomberg has learned that the Trump administration is in talks with the company to have the U.S. government take a stake in the struggling chip maker. Sources tell Bloomberg News that a deal would help shore up Intel's planned factory hub in Ohio. You've heard of Buy Now, Pay Later. Airbnb is rolling out Reserve Now, Pay Later. The home rental company is letting U.S. guests reserve some trips without paying up front. The move is aimed at winning over budget-conscious travelers who may hesitate about booking in advance. Retail sales take center stage today with the July numbers due out shortly. Stocks were largely little changed on Wall Street yesterday. The futures this morning have been mixed. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey students, school's back. But don't stress, your Rapides Parish Library has your back. Need to crush that research paper? Use our online databases. Got homework? We've got help. Study spots? Check. Free Wi-Fi printers and shelves of books to get you through any class? Double check. Whatever your goals, ace the test, pass the class, or just not fall behind, the library is your go-to. RPL, your school year starts here.
Good morning. Partly cloudy skies on our Friday with, again, that possibility of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Probably about a 20-25% chance of that. We'll see afternoon high temperatures near 94. Could see an early evening shower or thunderstorm, then down to 74 for the overnight low. And Saturday and Sunday looks pretty good with partly cloudy skies. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, and the highs near 95. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back. Alan Stephen with you here on this Friday morning, talking with Brad LeBlanc, who has been offering some expert testimony at some of these various town halls that we've seen dealing with carbon capture and sequestration. And Brad, this is an issue that I think for a lot of people in central Louisiana, they weren't even aware of in the slightest, but now has come into light in part because of the Sungas proposal for Beaver Lake and the planned development there, but also I think the Cenla Hub, which would be the component that would take the carbon byproduct from entities like Sungas and store it in the ground, thousands of feet deep. But people who are finding out about this issue, at least what we're seeing, the average citizens are very concerned about what the long-term impact of all this could be. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it is fair to say. I mean, and you know, when we come in and we're having this meeting at Tunk's restaurant lodge there at Lake Decay this coming Monday night. So just this particular interview, I believe, is a good precursor to that meeting, and maybe to get more people out, you know, to hear the full presentation, be a nice PowerPoint. I'll just simply be giving them the odds of failure of CO2 storage plume, you know, just I'll be telling them and providing them with studies, actual case studies, multiple studies, no small sampling, about 75,000 wells. But after, you know, 4 or 5 years, you have like 30% of the wells that have casing or cement integrity issues. And after about 17 years, it grows to about 58%, especially with directional wells. You know, the cement sheet that is wrapped around the steel casing that is put into the ground is, you know, it doesn't stay there forever, you know, and we're concerned really that CO2 put into the ground at shallow points anywhere from 4,500 feet all the way down to 13,000 feet, as Ken Perry was proposing to us. All these proposals come across my desk first generally. And, you know, I just was like, we don't put a lot of cement in those cases. You know, we run these cement on logs that show you've got large bulgular spaces that, where there is no cement. So, I mean, if you have attempts to try to re-cement that or squeeze cement, the general rule of thumb is that 1 in 5 cement squeezes are effective and they hold for a while. Usually just general cement in the past that has been used has failed under CO2, you know, the acidity of CO2. And so it does become a serious issue. And my concern is that you're going to have a lot of those wells providing pathway for CO2 back either up to the surface or possibly into streams or, maybe even, God forbid, the Chico Aquifer. And much of what they want to do is in that southwestern portion of, Louisiana and South Central. And there's plenty of examples, where CO2 leaks have occurred in other places. So this is not a speculation. It's not a wonderment. You've got an enhanced oil recovery project there in Madison, Franklin parishes, Louisiana, the Northeast, in the Delhi field where Denbury was injecting CO2 into the ground, and it just did exactly what I'm saying that it likely will do, which is that it'll find these old, degraded boreholes, and it'll work its way back to the surface, and it started bubbling up at the surface where you had to wear an oxygen mask in order to just prevent being asphyxiated by the CO2. Pat Colereg's communication director with the state knows all about that. He needs to be asked more about that and how that was remedied. But I think what I can tell from the literature that I found, that it took Denbury the better part of a year to overcome that issue. In West Texas, there's a place where, they have been, quite a bit of oil produced from horizontal wells, but you've got saline waters that are coming up to the surface in one area, making a 60-acre lake that nobody wants to claim. It's called the Dead Sea of West Texas. Lake Bomer, maybe it's Beamer, Boehmer. I'd like to just say Lake Bomer because, gosh, when you look at that toxic, to look at it, it's not that, it's kind of pretty in a way because it's just this barren area out in West Texas, but really it's a toxic brew. Now, my concern is if you can see that with your own eyes above ground, imagine that toxic brew happening in your drinking water. That's not what you want. In Crane County, Texas is another well, just there's no wellhead on it. The fluids just found its way back to the surface, and it's flowing about 14,000 gallons per hour. Huge amount. So these are real life examples to do with enhanced oil recovery or just plain old degraded cement. What about pipeline leak? You've got that. You've got this one big leak that runs from the Jackson Dome, Mississippi. I think people are familiar with the Sapartia incident where a mudslide. It was kind of a lot of rain, caused earth to shift, and it made that pipeline crack, bend in such a way. And so that incident, which I want to say Ms. Desiree Lamont talked about, and she mentioned that there were no, long-term hospital, needs for that, but that's not true. There was the Douglas family that suffered long-term effect from that, nosebleed, nausea over prolonged period of time. And then you get down along that pipeline as it comes into Louisiana and into South Louisiana towards the Lake Charles, and then across the Sabine Beaumont area. You've had 13 leaks, pretty significant leaks in 17 years, according to, I think it's Earth Justice, but that's from Denbury's own data points, so, it's definitely an issue to be concerned about. And in Sapartia, I want to say that it's important to realize, and I've got a nice graph showing this on one of the slides, that CO2 plume traveled in the air for about 1.5 miles, and it did thicken. It crossed the Yazoo River, and the neighbors there had to be brought into the hospital. Now, what I'm saying to people is that how close is the CO2 operator allowed to construct the CO2 pipeline, to your home, schools, or community, according to the 2025 legislative session? And that answer is only 500 feet. So if it's able to travel 6,500 feet in the air, you have one of these disasters, by a pipeline, and you're only 500 feet away. Those are the kinds of concerns that we're talking about. And that is a fearful thing to say, but take exception with Ms. Lamont's statement that we're somehow being selfish telling people that. Those are just plain simple facts. We're just laying the facts out on the line, and there's nothing selfish about it. People are naturally concerned, and all we're doing is sort of justifying those concerns with what they already believe. It's something too about trusting the government. People, especially with this issue, when their safety and their lives, their livelihoods maybe are threatened, by sticking CO2 under their feet, people have a general understanding they just can't trust the government. They fought with the government. The government oftentimes is non-responsive. And with this issue especially, people are generally scared that you're going to be underfunded when it comes to taking care of their needs.
Sure. Hey, don't mean to cut you off again, but we got to take another break. Brad LeBlanc is our guest. He's talking about carbon capture, and we'll come back with more here on Talkback.
KSYL.
Storms, tornadoes, power outages. It's the season, so get prepared. Get storm ready with Southern Air. Get a free estimate on a generator, the right generator for your home and family, plus 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit. Let Southern Air help you take the worry out of hurricane season. Take action now. Visit southernairnow.com and let us bear it. Or give us a call at 318-777-5555. Keep the lights on with Southern Air.
Talkback. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
All right, quick break there. We're back with Brad LeBlanc, out Quartermont, Stephen Maxwell. Brad, we got about 10 minutes left here. So people might ask then, why are you doing this? I mean, what is your main motivation? You mentioned the woman from Industry Makes had said, kind of seems to be using fear tactics, that it's selfish. Do you feel pretty strongly that's a mischaracterization of what you're doing?
Well, it's sort of funny almost and ridiculous to say that we're the ones being selfish. No, I mean, we're trying to point these things out to government. And it's not just in Louisiana. You've got Indiana, South Dakota, anywhere that they want to stick CO2 in the ground. People have seen failures such as the Ancona gas field in Illinois. That's a gas storage area up there that is leaking back to the surface. It's, of course, wherever it rises to the surface, you can see where the vegetation is just dead. But people are generally concerned about their drinking water or their springs, apple springs, ponds, crawfish ponds, perhaps. And so why are we doing it? I mean, initially we were approached by Denbury to take an Austin Chalk producing well that was inside of a productive unit and convert it into a CO2 injection well. And we said, no, the well is still producing. And why should we do that? And then we were alerted by the landmen that were handling the case. Well, if you don't sign and participate, they can just take it to the Expropriation Act. It was the 2009 Carbon Sequestration and Expropriation Act, meaning via eminent domain, they could just take your land if you didn't want to sign. So the legislature has kind of helped to correct that a little bit, but I think people are still generally concerned, especially with pipelines. There's still the ability to use that eminent domain vehicle to take someone who just doesn't want to participate, and they can take them to court. Now, I think that Ms. Amon is completely wrong about this. The court proceeding doesn't happen before to take your land. It comes after they threaten to take your land. Then you get to take them to court. And what the legislature did in this last session was to say, well, okay, but you can take them to court in your parish, so have a trial amongst your peers. But nonetheless, who wants to have to sell their house to pay for the attorney's fees to tackle someone like Exxon? You know, that's not good enough. We just
saw with Allen Parish that Exxon sued their police jury, and the police jury ended up kind of backing down from what they were trying to do. That's my understanding.
Well, and they pretty much had to. It was a worthwhile attempt, and I read that report, and I'm kind of glad you brought that up because Marjorie McKithen wrote that. I mean, I know Marjorie. She did a good job writing that for Exxon, as most attorneys would, but in that, she was saying that Allen Parish wasn't being transparent enough because of the normal legal proceedings. Well, actually that word transparency is something that we want too. You know, we want them to prove that there is a trap for CO2. Right now, they don't have to prove that to the public. That's and this comes right from Brett Guyman, chairman of the assessment committee. That's done, you know, under closed doors. But what about the people that really want to see the information and have them prove that CO2 is not going to come back to the surface? And I can tell you, I've looked at the Hummingbird and Mockingbird projects of Exxon, and we need transparency because there are some old wells around one of those proposed Class 5 test wells that you could easily have CO2 work its way back through those old wells and back towards the surface. And the other issue is just naturally occurring faults that rise to the surface. Gases have for a long time used naturally occurring faults or fractures to make its way back up to the surface. So those two main issues, using naturally occurring faults that rise back to the surface as a migration pathway for CO2, or the more significant issue is just all of these old wells that, likely have degraded cement, or maybe not much cement at all to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so that's a key issue. I don't know, you about to ask a question, or can I make one more statement?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, in Texas, once again, there's this environmental integrity projects that has seen this significant rise in what they call non-compliance violations, showing that the vast majority, 89% of the failures were due to mechanical integrity, such as casing issues and or semen integrity issues. So starting in about 2009 and really peaked up around 2010, 2011, there was a great number of additional wells that were witnessing failures. So that's our big concern. Over time, you do that under the feet of the people in Rapides Parish or anywhere that, especially say like Lake Kincaid, if you start seeing a toxic mess, and why is it toxic? Because CO2 can bring up heavy metals, heavy minerals with it into the drinking water. That's one of the main dangers, because it leaches those out of some of those sediments as they're rising back to the surface. Am I once again speculating? No, those are actual test studies. Is it selfish somehow to point that out to the community? Not at all. I'm going to tell you, the geologists and well control experts in that Texas area have noted that an evaluation and assessment of 500,000 acres of ground in West Texas is imminently needed, they say, and that there's a high risk of cross flow and well control issues that exist in that area, posing catastrophic risks to groundwater tables. And that's right from the assessment via multiple geologists and well control experts. So I don't think it takes a PhD to understand that, just really a good old plain old country boy to understand that.
For sure. All right, we've only got a couple minutes left. Let me just kind of wrap things up with you with this. I think we have two major competing interests here. One, a desire for places like Rapides Parish to see an increase in jobs in industry. Sungas, I think on the front end, people are looking at this saying, wow, they're able to take byproducts from the timber industry. That's going to be good for local loggers and truckers, the people working at the plant. So on that side, I don't see people being too much against it. On the flip side, it's the byproduct, the carbon, which is captured, then which would be piped off to a company like Denbury, like you mentioned, with the Cenla hub to be put underground. That's what people seem to have a problem with. And the bottom line, and people ask me, why can't they just do something else with the carbon, is that this is being dictated by the European market, which wants the fuel that Sungas would produce. But if it's not produced in an economically friendly way, if you will, then the price would be too high for them to be able to sell it in that market. All of that underlined by this factor, the Q45 tax credits, which come from the federal government. If you take these away, and even when we had Sungas on here, they admitted it, they could not do the project without those tax credits. At the end of the day, the bottom line is that this is being subsidized by federal tax dollars.
Yeah. I mean, It is, and any business that has to rely upon, federal tax incentives really doesn't last very long. You had Petronova promising jobs, $1 billion or $2 billion at the economy. Within 1 year, they were down. Other companies, follow suit, with that in the Texas side. And so I think people in Texas to Louisiana to Indiana to South Dakota are all seeing that those kinds of jobs are very limited in time and only last, as long as the tax incentive lasts. That's not just in this nation, that's worldwide. So you've got to have a business, and I really don't see the great formula for making that much money from sticking CO2 into the ground. It's with oil and gas, when you pull them out of the ground, you sell it. There's an immediate need for it. Sticking CO2 into the ground and using taxpayer dollars for that, I'm sorry. I just don't see it.
All right, let's remind the folks again, there's a meeting coming up Monday at Tunk Cypress Inn, specifically on this topic. What time is that at?
6 p.m.
And you'll be one of the speakers there?
Yes, I will.
Okay. All right, Brad LeBlanc, he is what do we want to say, geoscientist / geologist / geophysicist? Is that fair to say?
That covers it all.
Okay. Well, Brad, it was nice to have you on the show today. I'm sure we'll talk with you again. And this topic is not going away anytime soon. Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, sir. We need to take a break, and more coming up on Talkback right after.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
All of us have that one friend who can just light up the room with a smile. And sadly, how many of us are just a little bit envious of that friend? Well, here's the good news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver that beautiful beaming smile. Over the years, hundreds of hopeful patients have visited and been completely satisfied. They've made getting dental implants an amazingly simple, low-anxiety procedure, one that's affordable for anyone's budget. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you feel comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled, certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Isn't it your turn to light up that room? Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Gauthier. That's 448-4540.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricado's Restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt in your mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricado's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, thanks again to Brad LeBlanc. And right before, we have a special guest.
Listen up, liver lips. I'm going to say it once, so you better listen to what I've got to say. My name is Sharky Sam, and I've come in here, made a 180-degree turn to show these punks over at United Wrestling Entertainment what it takes to be a professional wrestler. And let me tell you, to the citizens of this redneck operation, I'm taking them all on. I'll take women, men, children, dogs, any animal you want to throw at me.
Babies.
Babies, those are my specialty. I throw them out. I spin them around, and then I throw them out. Miss my spin. There it is. I spin them up, throw them out. So listen, you better be there, or I'm going to come find you. Yeah!
Wait, what was the name again?
Where are we going?
Shark Sammy.
Shark Sammy?
Shark Sammy Shark.
You go out.
Either
Oh,
way.
they go either way.
All right. I hope you guys are
I
watching
swing both ways. Sammy Shark or Shark Sammy.
Sammy. All right. Well, you can see Shark Sammy / Sammy Shark tomorrow at Wrestling for Warriors. It starts at 7 o'clock at the Alexandria Convention Center on MacArthur Drive. This is all going to aid the Wounded Warrior Project with United Wrestling Entertainment. And we may or may not know who's behind that mask.
Shark Sammy.
I think he's related to El Grande Americano, the new wrestler in WWE who hails from the Gulf of America.
I'm pumped now.
If you folks don't know what's going on, you have to go catch our live stream, watch the recording of it, and you had to see it to believe.
I'm gonna try and post it here in a bit.
There you go. You
put it
got
on the internet. It'll live forever.
So, all right, Steven's got to run out. Trish Lala will join me on the other side, and we got a couple of great guests coming in as well. Oh, the mask is off. Don't tell who your real identity is. More coming up.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Air Force One is taken off from Joint Base Andrews for Alaska, carrying President Trump to today's summit with Vladimir Putin on winding down the war in Ukraine. Mr. Trump's just told reporters on board.
We get along. There's a good respect level on both sides, and I think, something's going to come of it.
Correspondent Nancy Cortez is in Anchorage.
If things go well today, President Trump is expected to appear at a joint press conference with Vladimir Putin once the summit wraps up. And then he says he would arrange a second meeting right away that involves Russia and Ukraine, perhaps even, he said, here in Alaska.
No matter the outcome, CBS News national security contributor Samantha Vinograd believes
it is a big win for Vladimir Putin to be meeting with the U.S. president on U.S. soil to discuss the contours of a deal to end the war in Ukraine without the Ukrainians present and without the Europeans present.
Breaking news from Washington, D.C.'s Attorney General has just filed a lawsuit challenging President Trump's takeover of the District Police Department. CBS's Scott McFarland.
In a late-night action, Attorney General Pam Bondi ordered the D.C. Police Chief and the D.C. Mayor to accept Trump-appointed Drug Enforcement Administration head Terry Cole as the new Emergency Police Commissioner. What's more, she ordered D.C. to more fully cooperate with federal immigration authorities.
California Republicans like Congressman Kevin Kiley are pushing back after Governor Newsom announced his bid to hold a special election in November on redrawn congressional maps that would add 5 Democratic lawmakers.
We see this sort of escalating redistricting war continue to cascade across the country. I think it's going to be total chaos. District lines are going to be shifting. It's going to create great instability.
Newsom's out to offset Texas bid to add 5 Republicans. The president's tariffs didn't stop Americans from spending on cars in July. Auto sales rose 1.6%. The Commerce Department says overall retail sales were up 0.5%. That is a slowdown from a revised 0.9 the month before, but the increases follow 2 consecutive months of declines. Tropical storm Erin is getting closer to hurricane status as it churns through the Caribbean. Meteorologist Kate Bilo.
This storm is strengthening rapidly already and expected to go from tropical storm this morning to likely a major Category 3 hurricane by the time we get to Sunday morning.
The outer bands could affect Puerto Rico. Dow futures up 262. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
A couple years ago, I was in the bathroom at the airport when I dropped my smartphone in the toilet. Not smart. I was multitasking when I should have been focused on the job at hand. Embarrassing, but I'm not alone. According to Google, 7 million other multitaskers accidentally dropped their phones into the bowl last year. A gentle reminder that right now you can get yourself a brand new Samsung Galaxy A36 absolutely free with a $35 plan from Pure Talk. The A36 comes with scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass and a battery that'll last all day, along with unlimited talk, text, and data on America's most dependable 5G network. In other words, it's tough and smart. Something to think about next time you're multitasking and the necessary. Just dial pound 250, say keyword micro to get your free phone today. You can make the switch in just 10 minutes. That's pound 250. Say micro to switch to a no-nonsense smartphone and a company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm John Burns. Funeral services honoring fallen Baton Rouge Police Sergeant Caleb Eisworth are set for tomorrow. Here's Colleen Crane.
Decorated Baton Rouge Police Sergeant Eisworth died last Sunday after spending 7 weeks in the hospital after his motorcycle was allegedly intentionally hit by a pickup truck.
We're, of course, going to do our best to honor him, honor his family with a great funeral service.
Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse says Sergeant Eisworth touched many lives and performed many acts of heroism.
23-year veteran of the Baton Rouge Police Department, 12-year-old daughter, married, great parent. I got to spend a lot of time with him over the last 7 weeks.
Visitation Saturday will be at Estruma Baptist Church beginning at 9 a.m., followed by his funeral at noon. I'm Colleen Crane.
Louisiana Attorney General Liz Muriel has filed a child protection lawsuit against a popular online gaming site she says is overrun with harmful content and child predators.
Roblox, the #1 gaming site for children and teens. It's also the #1 site for sex predators.
LRN.
Close your eyes and feel the sun-drenched breeze of southern Spain. From whitewashed villages to golden beaches, this is where history meets passion. Moorish palaces, flamenco night, and unforgettable tapas. This small group, escorted by Annie and Christine in March 2026, will visit Seville, Cordoba, Granada, Marbella, and more. Join our spectacular Spain tour, beaming with culturally rich and local experiences. FreedomTravelLLC.com, your international travel architect.
Good morning. Partly cloudy skies on our Friday with, again, that possibility of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Probably about a 20-25% chance of that. With the afternoon high temperatures near 94. Could see an early evening shower or thunderstorm, then down to 74 for the overnight low. And Saturday and Sunday looks pretty good with partly cloudy skies. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, and the highs near 95. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 27 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 of Talkback here on your Friday morning. I'm Al Quartermont, and Stephen had to run out. Guess who's visiting us today as a special fill-in guest host this morning?
Good morning.
It is the one and only Trish Lala. Good morning. How are you?
I'm terrific. I know we've got to have our catch-up time here at some point, but
yeah,
we've got a studio full already.
We do. We have some guests who are in here to talk about the upcoming Home Builders Association Central Louisiana Home and Product Show. And they are James Crane and Tommy Pinion. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So how many years have you been doing this show? Do you guys know offhand?
Oh, no, sir. Probably close to 25 years. We had a little dry spell back in COVID time, but we're back now.
Awesome. So this one is coming up on September 20th, and it'll be from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Laborde Earls Entertainment Center.
That's correct.
That's correct. All right. So tell us, James, what's a little different about this year's show?
Well, last year we was over in Pineville, most people know, and we outgrew the space, so we came over here and Laborde Earls Conventions. What's it called? Entertainment Center. I get it so confused. They've done a phenomenal job over there remodeling that and making it look good, and we're really excited. I think our show is going to be one of the first kind of shows that's like ours that's been in that building since they've done that, and the building is awesome. So we're really looking forward to it. The show has got a lot of excitement going on behind it. It's just always a great time. We're trying to have some excitement in the parking lot and some things on that inside and get just something fun that weekend for people to do. That's the same weekend that they'll be doing the Ken House La Tour de Bayou. So we're hoping that people will go out that weekend and enjoy Central Louisiana.
Yeah, it seems like, Trish, once we get past summer, then all of a sudden you get into September with school, and now you start seeing the weekend events here in this area.
I know, because summer's gone, and it's crazy because, you know, some of us don't have kids in school anymore, and you go, oh, wow, school has started. But this is how you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's time for these events to start up. And I love the change of location for this, and it does allow you to expand it. So anybody out there, I mean, you might be thinking of remodeling your home. What a one-stop shop. Go and see all the vendors that are there at one time, right?
It's definitely a great spot for that because we're going to have real estate agent, interior designers, builders. If it has something to do with your house, and to be honest, if it don't have something to do with your house, we're hoping that we have other folks there that are trying to promote their businesses. It's really a big part of Home Builders Association to be a part of the growth of Central Louisiana, and we've had a little bit of a lull, and I feel like some excitement's coming back into the air, and it's starting to happen. Of course, over there this year, we ended up having 2 title sponsors, which is a first for us because we've always had one, but the show's got so much excitement behind it that we got that. And Coburn's, as always, with their showroom and all their fancy kitchen and bath stuff, they're out there. They're going to be there. And then we got Bigfoot Electric this year. They're going to be showing you about all their generators and AC and heat and things. And I even think they do some more in-house stuff with cabinet refinishing and things. So I think that this year it's going to be a lot more excitement and a lot of fun.
Sounds like it. Tommy, your thoughts?
Well, you know, the reason we're back in Alexandria, we tried it last year in Pineville, and we just outgrew the venue that quickly. There was that much excitement built up in the area. So it's really going to be fun moving back to Alexandria.
Yeah, great problem.
Yeah, really good problem to have.
It is. It really is. So we're excited, very excited about it.
Any idea how many vendors you'll have there?
We're shooting for 50 or 60.
Okay.
You know, we're well on our way right now towards that goal. So it looks good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we got 5 more weeks, so it's not too late if anybody wants to be a vendor. And if you want to get in front of a lot of the general public and let them see what you do, well, then this is a good spot to do it because we're planning on having a lot of fun that day.
Well, I can tell that you are. So did you know who some of the vendors are already that you have?
Yes, sir, I do. Barksdale Federal Credit Union, they'll be out there. We got Mr. Scott Wallace with Mallet Construction. He's a custom home builder. He'll be out there. Rainbow Vacuums will be out there again this year. Of course, my business remodeling, and I think we got about 3 or 4 other remodelers that's planning on being in the show as well. Let's see, Home Outlet right down the road here. They've took a big active role in it, and they've really started being involved a lot. And they're kind of like a hidden gem on when it comes to cabinets and things. People don't understand. If you don't want custom cabinets, well, Home Outlet's a great place to go get your cabinets. ADT Security is going to be there at this moment. It's pretty a big facet of all people from anything to do with your home. It's a good time to come out if you're planning on building, planning on remodeling, or just curious and want to see what the industry's doing. We know that real estate agents are going to be in there and insurance guys and whatnot, and that's a really good time to get in front of everybody and let them know what you do.
So pretty much anything that touches anything to do with your home. I mean, I didn't even think about right now is prime generator season, in the middle of hurricane season. If you've been thinking about getting a generator, all the way to being, maybe you want to buy some land, build a new home, check in with some builders there, interior decorators, everything you can think of that might touch your home. And yes, of course, realtors.
Yes.
We love to be involved in the whole process, right? But what a great one-stop shop.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be something to do with your home. I guess if there's something you can buy to put in your home, even in your refrigerator, if it's meat or whatever, we're trying to have any kind of vendors that we can get out there to celebrate and have a good time.
Tommy, what's it like right now as far as the activity level with home building here in this area?
Yes, sir. Well, it really is. It's like this everywhere at the moment. It's kind of flat right now. We're just waiting for that one interest rate cut will get things booming again.
You and President Trump.
We're working on it.
On the flip side, building homes is a little flat, but when it comes to remodeling homes, that's not flat at all. That's like a soaring rocket. Everything's doing really well with that. And if you are a remodeler, well, then you're busy at the moment.
Trish, do you think that's because people haven't been selling homes or looking to buy new homes, that they're just doing more of the remodeling?
I mean, as realtors, what we see is exactly that, because people are sitting on a 2 to 3% interest rate. So instead of selling, normally right now they would be selling their home and upsizing or building something brand new. Instead, they don't want to lose that interest rate, so they rather remodel and stay in what they have. So that's what's keeping our market tight, is we're not getting the homes out there on the market, and we don't have the buyers out there. So just like you're talking about, Tommy, we need that little bit of a interest rate drop, and it'll never be back to the 2 to 3% ever.
Yeah.
But just that little bit of drop will it'll trigger some activity out there that'll get us moving along in those areas. But yeah, home remodeling right now, skyrocketing.
We have a lot of spec builders here in Central Louisiana, and those guys are surviving off of remodeling at the moment. And to be honest, you could probably have about 100 more people doing it, and you still would have plenty of work.
Wow.
There's tons of people that we get phone calls for every day looking for help.
Well, that's why you're having the show, so people can come in and check that out and find out more.
That's right.
Sounds like a lot of great vendors, a great event. Again, it's happening September 20th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's a Saturday at the Laborde Earls Entertainment Center. Any more information we need to get on while we have you here?
No, sir. We appreciate y'all letting this come out.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you guys coming as well. Again, James Crane, Tommy Pinion, our guest here on Talkback. Gentlemen, thank you so much, and hope it's a great show coming up on the 20th.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Back with more Talkback right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics, with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
Craving mouth-watering barbecue and juicy steaks? Head on over to Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse, the top barbecue and steakhouse in Alexandria. Our warm and welcoming atmosphere is the perfect setting for a night out with friends or a family dinner. Indulge in our premium barbecue and steaks, fresh salads, and handcrafted burgers. Come as you are, we're ready to serve you. Visit Cole's Barbecue and Steakhouse today on Coliseum Boulevard across from the Rapides Parish Coliseum. Expect real good food.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with New Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Have you tried hands-free Skechers slip-ins yet? Because if you haven't, you're missing out on technology that changes how you think about shoes. First, these are not just regular slip-on shoes. They're not just a pair of loafers without laces. But what makes them different is the technology inside that lets you just step into them. There's a built-in hidden shoehorn that slides your foot in, so they look, feel, and wear just like a pair of shoes you're used to. Except you don't have to bend down, struggle to put them on, or touch them. Try them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
And we are back on Talkback. Al Quartermont, along with Trish LaLaw, sitting in for Steven, who is out on the road already this morning. That's one thing about Steven is he's, as soon as like this show is over, he's like,
road reporter, off he goes.
And so he had an earlier story he was trying to get to today, and so we dialed up Trish and said, hey, we need a little bullpen relief.
Exactly. I'll come in and pitch hit for a little while.
Yeah, just come in throwing 100 miles an hour. So that's exactly what we needed. All right, we're very pleased to welcome our next guest, who is fairly new to our Alexandria, Central Louisiana community. Sergeant Tammy Camarillo is with the Salvation Army here in Alexandria. She and her husband Daniel are the new Corps officers here. First of all, welcome to Central Louisiana.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
Now, how long have you all been here?
We actually moved here on June 23rd.
Okay.
And the following week was our first week in office.
Wow. So you hit the ground running, as they say.
Yes.
Okay. How's it been going so far, the transition for you?
It's been going good. It's just a process, of course. And myself, this is the first time I've been an officer in probably 30 years or more.
Really?
So, I'm having to catch up quite a bit. I've been in oncology in the laboratory for the last 30 years.
Wow.
My husband has a lot more experience and time in with the Salvation Army. He worked shelters for several years in Arkansas, and this is right up his alley. So I'm learning a lot and loving the work.
That's outstanding, and we're glad to have you all here. Where did you move from?
We moved from Royce City, Texas.
Royce City, Texas. Okay. And how does Central Louisiana compare to Royce City?
It's pretty hot, just like it is there. Y'all do get more rain, I've noticed, which is nice.
Especially lately.
Better than drought.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what a neat thing for you and your husband to get to do together also.
Yes, it is quite the experience to be able to work together, and 24/7, maybe he's getting tired of me. I'm not sure, but
I'd say either a really good thing or
at least we have separate offices so we can, get away for a little time.
and you have the pleasure of moving here with the brand new facility already up and running.
Oh, yes, it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We love it. It is such a blessing to the people and to this community. And we're doing our best to keep it that way.
But how many people are you sheltering there right now?
Actually, we have had a full house of 32 on several occasions lately. And so that is our maximum capacity is 32.
Okay. I know at different periods, sometimes those include veterans as well.
Yes, we have a veterans wing that is exclusively for the veterans program. And they have 16 beds exclusively to their program.
Wow. Wow. Outstanding. Well, one of the reasons we have you in here today is that you're in the process of working to try to help people out with some of their energy bills during this summer. So tell us more about that program.
Okay. Well, Atmos Energy has generously donated funds to help their customers pay their gas bills. So we would love to have people come in that need assistance on Monday and bring their gas bill and their current address on their ID. They have to have their ID, and the bill has to be in the applicant's name. But we're going to offer that assistance till the funds run out. And they are limited, so it's a first come, first served basis. And we hope to help anywhere from 30 to 50 community members.
Oh, wow.
So that was something that Atmos came to you with? Is that right?
Well, I was just made aware that we had those funds.
Wow, okay.
And so I've been working towards tapping into that for the last couple weeks.
That's terrific. And you were just talking about the heat here. Like, this is the perfect time for people who, they've been running these air conditioners, and so they need that kind of help right now.
Yes, definitely. The perfect time. And while we're talking about the heat, we also opened our cooling center on these days that are just horrible. If the index is 95 degrees, our door opens at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, so folks can come in and cool off and get a cold drink and maybe even snacks. But we don't want people out there suffering when we have the AC running.
So is that for just men, or you allow?
That's for the community, anyone.
Community. Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. That's great to have. And I would imagine when we get to winter, you probably have the same for people to come in and get warm too.
That is the plan, yes.
Which is good, because last year we saw where that was really needed a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll see that opportunity is availed this year. You know, anything we can do. We do not want people out in the cold.
And hopefully people take advantage of that opportunity. Hopefully, you know, especially through things like this, you're getting the word out that that is there and it's available. And people do take advantage of that.
So for the Atmos program on Monday, like you said, it's from 9 to 1, first come, first serve. People need to come and have a copy of their it's their gas bill, right?
Yes.
Not their electric bill.
Right.
So it's their gas bill, and then proof of their address, and then you'll be able to help
their
them out.
ID, and we're good to go.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Are there any other companies that you're working with right now or being made aware of that are looking to help people that are struggling?
I know the United Way has a lot of programs they're working with. I'm not totally familiar with everything that's going on yet.
Sure. Yeah.
I've heard a lot about the Homeless Coalition and Hope House, Manna House. These places are actively helping people on a daily basis. And we actually had a wonderful opportunity to help a lady who needed emergency shelter while she was waiting to get into the transitional housing at Hope House. And so that process took place, and we are just thrilled. That is what makes our day. When we can see a person in an emergent situation move into a transitional situation and then eventually a self-sufficient situation.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Now, you know, the perception for the Salvation Army is that you only cater to men, but it sounds like with the new facility, it allows opportunities to also help out women too.
Yes, it was designed with that in mind for women and families with children. Currently, we only have 3 rooms that are for families with children, and that is the only 3 rooms that we can use right now that could include women. But we are working towards changing things to where we can accommodate more women. Currently, we have a lot of men, and we love the men just like we love the women, and we want to see them transition into out of an emergent situation into a transient situation.
For sure. We do have a phone call coming in. If you want to put those headphones on, if you don't mind taking a phone call here. Again, we're talking with Tammy Camarilla, who is with the Salvation Army here in Alexandria. Thanks for waiting. You're on Talkback. Good morning. Oh, we just had an electricity flash, and I don't know if that... Let's try this again. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
And thank you, Ms. Camarilla, for coming to our community and put forth your effort, you and your husband, to help. We appreciate that. I was a longtime bell ringer, and then the people before you, when they were installed, all of a sudden when I called to get our normal time, they said we had to come in and do sign some paperwork or do a background check. The problem was y'all's office was only open when I was working. So can you delineate the requirements for bell ringers for the upcoming season and how y'all are going to go about acquiring that and how people can volunteer? And I'll hang up and listen to you. Thank you, ma'am, for what you're doing.
Thank you. We are preparing even now for the bell ringing season. However, I don't have any of that information with me today.
Sure.
I do know that we will be actively taking applications at some point in the near future, but we still have, at least a month before that begins. But as soon as we know, maybe I can come back on here with that information.
Yeah.
And get everyone that wants to apply the opportunity to apply, even if it's after hours.
Well, as a former board member, I know that at the time that I served, it seemed like there was one gentleman, who kind of handled registering the volunteers and the different groups and organizations that wanted to do that. And I'm not sure what happened with that. But I think what our caller is saying is there are more people in the community that would like to be a part of this. So hopefully you can make that work once you get your feet under you a little bit.
We are. In fact, my husband and I were going to meet today and start the process of getting ready to go forward with that.
Yeah, the Red Kettle campaign, as it's called, that's always your biggest fundraiser of the year.
It is, and this year they're doing something additional called virtual Red Kettle. And so we're excited to learn more about that and see how that works. But basically, you'll have $25 pledges, and the goal is to raise $25,000 in 25 days.
Wow.
So that's an amazing program.
I think that's going to be a great option and a great avenue for trying to get bigger donations like that too. So excited to see how that works.
Yeah, me too.
Do you have any kind of need for volunteers year round, even like during this time of year as well?
Yes, we can always use volunteers. We take application as well for volunteers, and there's certain criteria and things that we can use them for and things that we can't. But that would be a conversation with the individual who wants to volunteer. But we definitely could use some volunteers. That's one thing we need, is a volunteer to answer the phone. That's when people try to get a hold of us and they find it difficult because we do not have a receptionist. And so if we had a volunteer receptionist, that would be awesome. And then we also need volunteers on the days that we pick up food bank and different things like that. They could even get qualified to drive our vehicles. And we have a multitude of things that we could use volunteers for.
How big is your staff right now, besides yourself and your husband?
There's 9 on our staff.
9. Okay. All right. So, I don't know if I still know any of them. I used to know all of them, but things changed through the years. But I used to always love coming to the Salvation Army because there was always just so much kind of a spirit of joy among the people, and you just really pick up on that.
That's true. I love it. I love the people that we're working with and the people we're serving, because it just feels like family.
Yeah. Still do the Sunday morning services too?
We sure do. 8:30 in the morning.
8:30.
Awesome.
It's early.
But it's pretty cool because we have our service at 8:30, and then we fellowship at 9:30, and then we have the entire day to relax.
Which I'm sure for you is that one day a week that you can just breathe a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, again, Tammy, welcome to you and Daniel. We're glad that you all are here, and our program is open to you anytime you have to get the word out. Just let us know.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
My pleasure.
So again, let's remind folks, the Admis gas bills, if people need some help, they can show up Monday from 9 to 1.
That's right.
All right. And where are you located for people that don't know?
1284 Murray Street, Alexandria.
The brand new
building.
Beautiful building.
That's right.
Come see us.
Absolutely. All right, Tammy Camarillo with the Salvation Army. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you.
God
All right,
bless you.
More talk back coming up.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. U.S. retail sales rose in July in a broad-based advance, getting a boost from car sales and major online promotions. And assigned consumers stepped up their spending in recent months. Overall, retail sales were up by 0.5%, a little bit less than what economists were expecting. AstraZeneca has released its flu vaccine nasal spray for at-home use. FluMist Home is the same product as the pharmaceutical company's seasonal influenza vaccine spray, which has been offered by clinicians for the past 2 decades. FluMist Home received approval for patients ages 2 and up from the FDA last fall. The shares of Intel are moving higher ahead of the opening bell. Bloomberg has learned that the Trump administration is in talks with the company to have the U.S. government take a stake in the struggling chip maker. Sources tell Bloomberg News that a deal would help shore up Intel's planned factory hub in Ohio. Stock futures are mixed just ahead of the opening bell. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The clinics welcome Dr. Noah Miller, family medicine physician, to our team. Dr. Miller from Vadrine, Louisiana, is now accepting new patients. Call today to schedule your appointment. The clinics offers a wide range of services, including primary care, family and chronic care, urgent and acute care with on-site lab and x-ray. Same-day appointments are available, and we accept most insurance and Medicare. Experience exceptional care at the clinics. 1587 North Bolton. Call 445-9823 or look us up online at theclinics.us.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Good morning, partly cloudy skies on our Friday with, again, that possibility of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Probably about a 20-25% chance of that. With the afternoon high temperatures near 94. Could see an early evening shower or thunderstorm, then down to 74 for the overnight low. And Saturday and Sunday looks pretty good with partly cloudy skies. Slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, and the highs near 95. From the Zenlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
All right, we are back on Talk Back on your Friday. Al Quartermont, Trish Lala sitting in for Stephen with us here in this second hour. Glad to have her with us. And I'm really glad that the Salvation Army sounds like they have a great couple here now that are leading things. A few years ago when the Nelsons were here, I was on the board, and they were just such a part of the community and really got the ball rolling with the effort to get the new building put in place. Big thanks to the Martin family as well. I know they put a lot of their time and money into that too. And it's great that I feel like we have a couple there that's going to engage with us a lot more.
I know, I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
And having them out and about in the community. And, for her to be, she kind of came to you too. They want to get out there. Yes. They want to get the word out there. Right. And, they're hitting the ground running here. So because that's terrific.
Transparently, I tried a couple of times the last few years to get somebody from them to come in, and it just didn't really seem to be much interest there.
Yeah.
It's crazy to
Actually,
me.
we had a comment on our Facebook page, where exactly is the new building? So, I know it's Murray, basically right after you cross the railroad tracks if you're coming from downtown Alexandria.
Correct.
If you're going towards downtown and the courthouse, it's right before you hit the railroad tracks. And you can't miss it right there because it is a big, beautiful new building right there on that whole huge lot.
A big, beautiful building. Well, Trish, we're glad to have you with us because you've been like jet setting around the world the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I have. That's why I said I'm still getting my feet back on the ground, literally.
Was it a 2-week European vacation?
It was.
Wow.
European vacation, yes. So it was terrific. We got to go, my whole family. So not just us and our kids, but also my parents, my siblings, and all their kids got to go and spend some time, exploring Ireland, Scotland, the UK, and even experiencing what they consider a hurricane over there in the North Sea while we were on a boat. So it was a big adventure.
Wow.
But we're back hard at work. And like I said, literally getting my feet back under me because I was fine the whole time on the boat. I never had any issues, even going through that storm that we went through. Luckily, I made it through without any issues. But once I get back on land, it takes me forever for my equilibrium to get balanced again. So
that's interesting.
We got off the boat last Saturday. I can still sit in this chair right now and feel my swaying happening a little bit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know I've always been that way. Growing up in Ohio, and you know this place, you were close enough. Well, I wasn't talking about that yet. We're going to get to football. Cedar Point is like the best amusement park ever, right? I know even where you were, you had heard of Cedar Point.
When I was a kid, we went to Cincinnati and went to that.
Kings Island.
That's what we went to.
We had 3 huge ones in Ohio. You had Kings Island, you had Geauga Lake, and then you had Cedar Point. Cedar Point had the biggest and best roller coasters anywhere.
Oh, wow.
And so all summer you would go up there all you could. And I would ride the roller coasters all day long. But for days afterwards, I could hardly sleep because every time I'd lay down and close my eyes, I was going over those roller coaster hills and upside down. And it's just always been that way with me.
That's interesting.
So, I'm the seat right here is a little...
She's swaying.
I'm swaying.
Right now. What was the most surprising thing for you about kind of those areas of Europe? Were you pleasantly surprised? Were there any things, you kind of hear some rough stuff of what's going on over there right now?
Well, interestingly enough, no, everything was beautiful. People were absolutely so nice and welcoming to us. And there were so many areas that, we barely got to stop in because when you're doing a cruise kind of thing like that, you don't get that much time. And there were some places like Edinburgh, I could stay there for days and explore, but you only have so many hours there. But people were so welcoming to us. But interestingly enough, as you say that, we spent a whole day in London at the end of the trip, Todd and I and our kids. And as we're wandering through, seeing all the sights that you need to see while you're in London, when we get to Westminster Abbey, and there was such a police presence everywhere. Like you just felt all the police presence every place. And the huge lawn right there, you could tell there was something going on. And we it was so crowded, so packed, we kind of skirted around it. And because my son Evan had been over there last summer, spending his time going through Europe, he knew the underground really, really well. And so we ended up taking the tube to where we wanted to go next from there and kind of bypass that whole area.
Yeah.
Then we were watching the news later on, and it was, come to find out, the largest protest that London had this, I think, century, they said.
Wow.
And it was a pro-Palestine thing. They had 462 people arrested that day from that one spot.
Wow.
But walking around there, it was so full of tourists still that you didn't feel any of it.
Yeah.
And there was no violence going on. There was no, and really when you listen to the news about it, they weren't, it was kind of interesting because they weren't protesting so much for the causes. They were protesting for the free speech to be able to protest for whatever cause.
Yeah, because England has kind of cracked down on free speech in a lot of ways.
Right, and that was kind of the whole thing. It just happened to be that this was what they were using.
Right.
And probably half the people there couldn't tell you what it actually,
Right.
It was the fact that they were there protesting for the ability to protest.
Yeah.
So, that was kind of interesting. But we still had a fantastic time in London, and then flew back here, and then dealt with flight delays from Atlanta to Alexandria. So.
Oh, boy. There you go. Just what you want when you're ready to get home.
Right.
What was your favorite part of the trip?
Oh, goodness, I don't know, because there were so many different parts of it. And really, I mean, I'd be dorky to say, but it just having our family together and spending all that time.
Sure.
But if you ask my kids, we went on a tour through the Irish countryside while we were in Dublin. You know, I had to go spend some time in Ireland. My dad actually just got his Irish citizenship. And so I wanted to go spend time, exploring around over there. So we did that. And the tour we took ended on the one day of going to a sheep farm and learning from the guy that owns the sheep farm there and the history and everything that goes into their farming. Was really, really interesting. But for my kids, it was holding all the sheep and watching the sheepdog work.
Wow, holding a sheep. That is pretty cool. No, wait, your dad has become a citizen?
He is. He's now a dual citizen. His grandfather was born in Ireland.
Okay.
And actually lied about his age to jump on a ship to come over to America. And so he went to the office there that you do this with in Ireland, and they have to track and make sure that is they prove the lineage. And as soon as they do, he got automatic Irish citizenship because his grandfather was born in Ireland. Now, as my dad's kid, I can apply to get Irish citizenship, but I have to go through a more stringent process for it, where his was automatic. But so you never know. So you might look up one day and I'll just be living on the Irish countryside myself.
So is your maiden name Irish?
Roach, yes.
That's
Roach
Irish.
means rock.
Okay.
Yeah,
by the way,
County
it's not
Court.
R-O-A-C-H. It's
R-O-C-H-E, but it's pronounced Roach. And yes, growing up, my name was mispronounced all the time. I can't even tell you what I get. So then I always said, you know what, someday I'm going to get a name that everybody can pronounce.
Yeah. Well, trust me, I have a name that either people don't pronounce right or more commonly they don't spell right.
Well, maybe the spelling, but how hard is it to pronounce?
It trips people up at first, but...
I mean, again, look at my last name, though. It's beautiful.
Right.
You spell it out, it looks beautiful, but nobody can pronounce it. Even over there, everybody's asking, how do you pronounce your name?
People always ask me, what is that? I say, Scottish Russian. No, that's a Fletch line. If you ever saw Fletch. It's actually Belgian. But at our orientation Monday for faculty, we had to wear little name tags. And for whatever reason, they put an E after mine. So it was Quartermonte.
Quartermonte, you're French now.
Yeah.
Quartermonte. I mean, how hard is Quartermont?
I wouldn't think it is. But
I don't understand.
Maybe just because people haven't really seen it that often. Or they'll say quarter. They'll say
hello.
Quartermain.
You were on the news for how long?
Yeah.
Like with your name underneath your face.
Yeah. By the way, Michael Penix, the quarterback for the Falcons, there was a station in that area yesterday. They put his name up, and
what did it say?
I don't know if spell check changed it, but it was an S instead of an X.
Oops.
Wonder how many times that happens to him.
That's awful.
Especially with spell check.
That's awful.
Probably type that in and.
You're right.
So.
But, oh man.
So I haven't had that.
That's kind of like me laughing in the background when your wrestler was in here and.
Yeah. So was Shark Pete or wait Pete Shark?
I don't know, but
Pete
sometimes
Sharky.
he just says what pops right into his head, doesn't he?
It was amazing. It was. All right, we need to take a break, and we have more talk back. 442-8255 is our number on the BOM Bank talk line.
KSYL. Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Hello, I'm Sarah Kramer of Kramer Funeral Home. Funerals don't just signify that a life has ended. They celebrate that a life was lived and loved. At Kramer Funeral Home, we understand the importance of celebrating a life well lived. And since no two people are alike, no two funerals should be alike. We will assist you step by step in creating a meaningful service that honors your loved one's unique life. Let us, the staff at Kramer Funeral Home, be your personal guide.
A message from Israel Air Conditioning and Heating.
Yeah, my mama, she told me to pick up and call Israel Air.
She told me Israel Air. She told me.
She said they'll come running with comfort beyond compare.
And a very fair price.
Because you know we're all about your comfort, no troubles. Call 442-6657. That's 442-6657. We're all about your comfort,
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, we're back here on Talkback. Hang on, I had this queued up and I got to play it, but that end of the break kind of
took me by
surprise. So I got to play this in honor of Trish in college football.
Let's see what it is.
Davis is going to drop back into the end zone in single safety. So I guess if this thing comes up short, he can field it and run it out. All right, here we go. 56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God.
And they didn't keep him off the field. That is...
Oh, Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see. I cannot believe it. Oh, my God. 34-28. And we thought a miracle at Jordan Hare was amazing. Oh, my Lord in heaven. Davis just ran it 109 yards.
I don't know if I'd ever heard that radio call.
Have you never heard the radio call?
No.
That radio call, like seriously, my heart is beating out of my chest right now. It was the most amazing. This is the most amazing play of college football ever. But you want to know why that is also so special? Listening to that is, that was our announcer for years and years and years and years that was then killed in a car crash not long after that, too. So, yeah, we will never hear that voice calling our games again. But
what's his name?
That call is, of course, now I'm having a brain fart moment and not remembering. But just watching that live. And then all the videos afterwards of people that had been watching that and their reactions to it all. It was just amazing. Yeah. That's got to get you ready for college football right there.
I think my favorite part of the video is like A.J. McCarron, as soon as it's over, he's over there kissing his girlfriend. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, no big deal, whatever.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Of course, remember his girlfriend was the one
Yeah,
that, like,
she was-
Brent Musburger,
Yeah.
all, like, googly
made the
over.
comments over.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yep, I do remember that.
So funny.
But, it's my, there you go. Thank you, Todd. Rob Bramblett. Yeah, that
Okay.
was his name. I knew somebody came
Well,
to
it's
my
like-
rescue. Thank you,
It's
Madam.
like us going through our Brewer season this year. It's like the greatest
Yeah.
year they've ever had, and Bob Uecker's not there to call it.
Yeah.
Makes you kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, my favorite thing to do on Saturday mornings, right?
Watch College Game Day.
Watch College Game Day. This is where you will find me every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me on Saturday morning
Yeah.
because I'm watching College Game Day.
With Kirk.
And yes, with Kurt. Thank you.
That's her crush. Your husband knows.
We're all
this,
allowed
right?
one. He
Yeah,
knows. He knows.
Does he have
Anyways,
one?
But look, how perfect is it that Corso's final game is going to be right back where it all started, OH.
IO.
Yeah, at Ohio State. This is going to be an amazing game too. Ohio State, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a game to start it all off with, and to be the last one for Corso. I mean, that relationship. Okay, if you watch any of that, you've
Yeah.
got to love the relationship between Herb Street and
yeah,
Corso.
yeah.
It's so special,
Yep.
and I love that for them. I didn't think I was going to like Nick Saban coming into the picture because I didn't like him as a coach because he.
No, I think he's great.
You know,
on there, yeah.
but on there he is.
yeah.
He's great.
Yeah.
I've loved getting to know him on that show.
And even the dynamic between him and Pat McAfee, because McAfee's so goofy that it kind of makes Saban crack up a
It
little.
is sometimes because sometimes you can see Saban gives
Yeah.
him this look, but then he can't help himself and he laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great
So I
dynamic.
guess McAfee's back on it this year.
Yep. All the same guys,
Yeah.
just without Corso,
Yeah.
which, he was on and off as it was
right,
anyways.
Right.
But you saw he turned 90 the other day.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Bob Uecker was 90 when he passed
Yeah.
away. So
Yeah.
tell you get to that 90 mark. I mean, congratulations for sure.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll
Let's
be
go.
there one day. So
Hopefully.
some of us are staring 60 in the face right now.
Is that what you're staring in the face already?
Yeah.
Really?
Nathan got there a couple months ago, and I'm right behind him.
Man.
A few weeks.
Man.
It is a weird
It
feeling.
is a weird, I thought maybe 50 would be a weird feeling. It really didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel, I still in my brain
Yeah.
like I'm in my 30s.
Oh, yeah. That's a Gen X thing, though.
Except-
like we were 30 when we were 12.
We were.
and
We've
now we're still-
always been in our 30s.
Yeah.
You're right. Now, when I was walking all over, touring everywhere over there, my knees and everything like that told me, oh, you're not 30 anymore.
That I understand very much. All right. We need to take a quick break. We'll come back with some of your calls right after.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
All right, guys. I've heard from our customer service team that our customers are really liking our local Chat Now feature. I heard that they had some really interesting chat.
Oh, here's one. Customer needed a product recommendation on how to clean a kitchen that had its own ecosystem. Well, this one needs a new copier. Says the old one hates her and is trying to sabotage her life.
This one says their chair has bucked them for the last time. They need a new one right now.
Hey, now here's the one I want to read. This one is asking about Dean. They want to know if he's really as...
Know what? If I'm as charming as I seem, if I could really solve all their office-related problems, and if I really have the want to.
Wait. More importantly, what did they say about me? Whether it's a quick order, product advice, or tracking your delivery, Say's Chat Now makes getting supplies fast, easy, and hassle-free.
Get it all at Say's Office Supply.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Sinlaw's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
I don't mean any disrespect. I don't know
Mr. Jeffries that well. I know Senator Schumer very well, so I say this with respect. Chuck and Hakeem need to go to Amazon, buy some testicles, and stand up to the moon wing of their party. And until they're willing to do that, I haven't heard Senator Schumer say anything bad about Mondami. I mean, the guy's a socialist. He won't.
I saw that clip.
Go to Amazon.
Go to Amazon.
Buy some testicles. I didn't even know they sold those.
Well, they sell everything now.
That's true.
Again, kind of like our wrestler that was in here earlier. He just says things that pop into his head.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all scripted for him, but still.
That promo was great.
Still.
If you folks missed it, go back and look at our live stream on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, you have to watch it.
Yeah, right at about 7:55 mark.
Yep.
Yeah, it's worth it. Trust me. All right, we have a caller who's been waiting.
Patiently.
Let's go to them. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Yeah. Well, when you're a Methuselah, you can remember the radio announcement about Billy Cannon's run back against.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was a classic one on Halloween, right? 1950 something?
I think 58.
Okay. Yeah.
And I happened to be in the stadium watching him make that run back.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Really? That's awesome that you were there.
And the announcer was J.C. Politz.
Wow.
He was the radio play-by-play guy. But changing the subject a little bit, there was an ad by something called Beaver Lake
Renewables, yes.
Does that have something to do with SunGas?
Yeah, that is the name of the project, the Beaver Lake project. That is SunGas's project. And the ad you're referring to, it's been running for about a week now, at least on this station. I don't know if I've heard it on other stations, but the voice that they hired for that, it kind of sounds like one of those voices for like those like man deodorant commercials.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Or, some kind of pickup truck commercial. It's very like rough and rugged.
It's a manly one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, appealing to the fact that it will benefit the timber industry, which I talked about earlier. Yeah, there is that. The front side of the project, I don't know that there's anybody that would be against that. It's the back side of the project people are having an issue with.
Yeah, well, Wednesday, yes, the workforce that here.
You're kind of cutting out on us. Say that again. Yep. I think we lost you. So, all right. 442-8255. If you'd still like to get in, we've got a couple of moments left. But going back to college football, I was just looking at the rankings. I haven't had a chance to study them too much, but Texas is ranked number 1, Ohio State number 3, and you say they play the opening weekend?
They do. Wow. They play the opening game. Yeah.
And LSU plays up at Clemson. LSU
that's going to be another big one.
Yeah, 9 against 4.
Yep.
In the battle of Death Valleys, I guess.
It is.
Clemson
Tigers and Death Valleys. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I know. It'll be a fun season. Again, it's my favorite time of year. I can't wait for football season every year.
I noticed one program is not in the top 25 right now.
Are you talking to me?
But their logo is like an A with a U.
Are you talking to me right now?
You talking to me?
Look, sorry to our audience that we're talking football because, darn it, we won't have the chance to do this all during football season. We have to get it out of our system now.
I think you need to come in on Mondays.
On Monday mornings and give our little weekend football. Yes. You and I can give a little weekend football recap.
Yeah, and Steven, too. Steven will talk NFL at least. I don't know how much college football
I don't talk as much NFL. I don't have a team. I know he has his Dallas Cowboys.
Well,
I don't have a team.
Neither does Louisiana. Just kidding, Saints fans. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll surprise us.
Okay, so my team is not ranked in the top 25. We open up with Baylor, which should be interesting. And, we've got a tie to Baylor because that's where, my son's girlfriend went to school, was at Baylor. And beautiful place. We actually open up there at Baylor on the Friday. So I'll be able to watch that before I'm watching LSU and Ohio State on Saturday.
Wow.
Yep.
And you have a daughter that goes to LSU.
Got a daughter at LSU, so... Hey, I'll sport the purple and gold until And here's the thing. We don't play anymore because of the new SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, our schedule is crazy.
Yeah.
The Auburn schedule. But we don't play LSU. So
that's a shame.
I don't have to worry about that one.
That is a shame. That's an automatic win for LSU. Let's go to the phones again. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, can I do a little flashback here? You guys were talking deodorant. How hilarious were the commercials that went, get a little closer, don't be shy, get a little closer with Arid Solid Extra Dry.
Man, I just want to end it with
commercials. All over YouTube.
You've got a great
all over YouTube.
You've got a great radio
Check them out.
voice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's Brad from Chicago. I just wanted to end the week with some comedy. Fun, but yeah.
No, I recognize that Chicago voice.
Hey, since we're talking comedy, we could talk about the way the Cubs are playing.
Oh, gosh. I like I said, you've asked me once before, Al, if I'm a Sox fan or a Cubs fan. Yeah. I don't even know the North Side exists.
No.
It's full of troubles. Yeah, no Cubs fan, diehard, lifelong Sox fan.
My soon-to-be son-in-law is a huge Cubs fan. He worked for the Cubs right out of college, so yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good organization to work for. Lots of money flowing in, and they are doing some great things for the neighborhood. So, you guys have a great weekend. I'll call in next week with some more. Well, not bad news, but just news.
Sounds good. All right, Brad.
I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Well, you folks are hearing the music. We have a couple of calls on the line. We won't be able to get to you. Sorry about that. But glad to have Trish sit in with us. Nice to have you here. We'll have to have you back on again soon.
Absolutely. Enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hope you do have a great weekend. And Steve and I will be back with you on Monday. Looking forward to it here on Talkback.